Good morning. It is Monday morning, and the kids and I have been working on school this morning, and now they are doing some coloring pages. And there they are. Lydia chose Mickey Mouse. Peter chose the red belly woodpecker. Mary was working on, show them your picture, Mary, you were working on. Mary chose a turkey. And Grace, where are you, Grace? Here you are. Grace, what did you pick to color? What? No, turn it over. What is that?
Duck.
It's a duck. Good job. And John was trying to freehand a bird, and let's see if any of you can guess what that is. And
Goldfinch.
Ralph answered goldfinch. That is the correct answer. And look at all the seedlings that have come up. So these are 2 weeks old, almost 2 weeks old since I've done them.
Look at this one.
These are doing really well. Now those are cauliflowers. They're really leggy. And then the peppers are just starting to come up. Not all of them, but they're just starting to come up. And so are the eggplants. We're still missing a couple here. They haven't sprouted yet. But so far we've got 5 eggplants. But looking really good so far. Tonight I have an OSHA training, and then one of my new consultants is having a party, so I'm gonna be partying with her. Do you want another picture? I think Grace wants me to do another picture with her. But that's on the agenda for tonight, and Art just got a phone call saying that the people who usually go into jail tonight got canceled. I want to know if Art wanted to go in, but because we had the OSHA training, I can't change that. And that is mandatory for all EMS providers once a year. Art couldn't go in tonight because he's watching kids. So that's just a little bit of our crazy morning, and I'm going to print out another picture here for Miss Grace.
We're at the post office, and Charity sold some of her horse chestnuts, and it's in this thing. And 2 days ago, Grandma said if Leah sent her her address, she'd send her this toilet paper doll, which is in that package.
This is especially for Lee Eaton. I know there was discussion about a certain thing that people used to have. And when Charity and I were cleaning out my aunt's room, look at what we found.
A toilet paper doll.
And if you would like it, just send me your address and you may have it.
I thought it was interesting how many people liked the toilet paper doll and wanted it. I guess those things are more popular than we thought. And we got something in the P.O. box. Right here, Lydia.
Lydia, I'll open it. Can I open it?
Let Mary do it. She hasn't opened it yet. And we got something from Aunt Laura. I think it's her camera. She got a new camera, and so she sent her old one to Charity. Aunt Laura sent us some patty pan squash seeds that she had left over, and let's see.
Read the newspaper.
So newspaper is the obituaries.
Oh, your favorite section.
Yep. Well, sort of my favorite.
Can I have the newspaper?
Let's see.
I do
it.
Does it come with batteries?
No, Aunt Laura kept her batteries. Nope, I just need to figure out what memory card I need to get for it. Thank you.
Yeah, it turns out that these are not leftover seeds from Aunt Laura. These are heirloom seeds, so those are good because you can give them to your friends. So you pull them out of the squash, and then you can save them, dry them, and give them to your friends. So thank you very much, and maybe we'll save some and give some to our friends. Charity is going through the obituaries because it's her favorite section of the newspaper. And I have to tell you why it's her favorite section. She never really started reading them too much until she joined the ambulance squad, and then she always checks the obituaries to make sure that none of her patients died.
I don't want to kill my patients. That would be really bad.
Yeah, that would be bad. So anyway, we're good so far. Charity saw in there, it said Wyoming, Michigan, and that's a city in Michigan, right outside of Grand Rapids. And she said, hey, you should tell them your story about Wyoming, Michigan. When I was young, my grandparents had a conversion van rental business, and they owned usually at any given time between about 5 and 8 vans, and they would rent them out, and people would go on vacation with them usually. They make you rent them for other things too. What started it was this old red Ford utility van, and they put some carpet in there and some seats and a few other things, and they were very proud of their van that they turned into a conversion van, and they could put a whole bunch of kids in there. And this was the days before seatbelt laws, so they just had some benches on the sides and so they didn't need all the seatbelts, so you could pack a whole lot of kids into there. Over the course of time, they got all of the new vans, so they couldn't rent out that old one, so they gave it to their church, and the church used it for quite a while. So they put the name of the church, New Hall Baptist Church, Wyoming, Michigan. And then the church gave the van back when they didn't need it anymore, and they took off the New Hall Baptist Church, and so all it said is Wyoming, Michigan. Well, the G fell off of it, so it said Wyoming, Michigan. And so you could tell the van from anywhere. I mean, you saw that van, you knew it was the right van. It was kind of like that Johnny Cash song, One Piece at a Time, and then it says, you'll know it's me when I come into town. And over the years, the van got super rusty, and it just looked awful. And then finally, they decided to sell it. They made sure that the people buying it knew it was in really bad shape, which was kind of obvious just by looking at it. So the people, they bought it anyway. They gave them the $100, and they drove it down the street. At the end of the street, it broke down, and they went to check it out. So they opened the door, and they opened up the hood, checked it out. And then I guess they got it running again, but when they got back in the van, they couldn't close the front door. So they drove it back with the front door open, and they said, it's not working, can I please have my $100 back? So they gave them their $100 back, and I think at that point, if I remember correctly, maybe I don't, I think they just hauled it off to the dump, or the scrap yard. And that's the story of Wyoming. And we had a lot of good times in that van growing up. And one time we even went to Maryland in the van. It's nighttime and the kids are in bed, so I'm going to try to do a little work on my hoop house. And there are the boards and the drill and some hinges and a few other things I'm going to need. I started to work on it Saturday, but then I had to leave to go to the party and I wasn't able to finish. And you know how things go, so I have to force myself back into finishing it. But once I get started, it will probably go quickly. I tried to do this as inexpensively as possible. I did have to buy 8 of these flexible tubes. And those were around $14, and I think I'm going to need to buy some plastic to cover it up, and that's going to be a few more dollars. But everything else is going to be free. The wood was some scrap wood that I had laying around, and it was one big plank, and I cut it to make it fit. Then I found some hinges in the basement that I'm going to use. I suppose if I would have waited and gone to garage sales, I probably could have picked up hula hoops for maybe a quarter, 50 cents each. And of course that would have saved money, but I didn't really want to wait for that, because our plants need to go outside very soon. But if I would have planned ahead and got some before, then of course I could have done that.
Look at that. It's starting to look like a little hoop house.
You know what it looks like? One of those old-fashioned wagons.
A covered wagon.
Yes.
It is, I think, almost 10 o'clock. Charity and I had our OSHA training tonight, and I didn't vlog much of anything this afternoon because I was busy working on listing those school books, the Abeka school books that I told you guys about a couple days ago. I put them on the Facebook pages and they didn't sell. For whatever reason. I mean, my prices were very cheap. I wanted them to move quickly, and I had one person interested, but that did not work out. And I just am tired of looking at the books in the office. So there's a pile right there of school books. Those are the ones that I've completed and have listed on eBay so far. I will feel a lot better when I can get these books listed and sold, and I did already sell one of them, so I'll have to ship that out tomorrow. So yippee, hooray! I also forgot to mention that I was also working on my EMS credits to finish up my renewal, so that was the other thing I was working on this afternoon. I managed to clock 3.5 hours of credits this afternoon. I got another 2 hours tonight. I'm getting very near the end. One other thing, a bunch of you guys have been asking about Charity and what's the scoop on her and her EMT training and all that. In New York State, you cannot become an EMT until you are 18 years old. So she is only 14 and a half right now, and technically she cannot legally become an EMT. She can't even take the class. So our emergency squad created a program for junior teens from ages 14 to 18. It's called a ride-along program, and they can come in, they can ride on the ambulance, limited amount of hours. can't go on certain types of calls. Pretty much like an explorer program, so they can check out the that field, see if it's something they're interested in doing long term. Riding once a week and getting whatever calls she gets during that shift. But it's been amazing. She's really enjoyed it, and it seems like it's giving her a little bit of a direction that in the direction she wants to go in life with something with the health and medical field. But it's been a really great program, and that's why you guys have been asking, is she getting her EMT? No, it's going to be a while yet, but she's now being able to focus more on the homeschooling part of the math and the sciences, because that's really the direction you need to be strong in if you're going to go into that field. It's been good. It's been really good, and at least tentatively for a 14 and a half year old, that's the direction she's thinking of right now.